Good evening, everyone. In the last class, we understood what is IDE and how to develop the program by using IDE. So can you tell me what is IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. By using IDE, we can develop our programs. We can execute the programs also by using IDE. What are the advantages are there if we develop the project by using IDE? Within the less time, we can write more code. Within less time, we can write more code and auto compilation available, auto suggestions available, and some shortcuts also available to write the more code in the less time. Are you guys able to use the IDE? Working for everybody? Any problems? Have you gone through shortcuts? Shortcuts video? Can you tell me some shortcuts? Control D to remove the particular line. Control M, minimize and maximize. Control Shift F, format the code. To format the code, Control Shift O, auto imports. Control space, suggestions will come. And intelligence also is available for the IDEs to suggest the methods and classes. And one more thing is Control Shift F formatting, Control Shift X Y to convert the data to uppercase or lowercase. Shortcuts are available. Control O to display all the methods of the class. Like that, there are some shortcuts available. By using those shortcuts, we can do more work in the less time. Our development will be faster if we go for IDEs. There are some free IDEs available and there are some paid IDEs are also available. Free IDE is available, paid IDE is available. We can use Eclipse or Spring Toolsuit or IntelliJ also. Eclipse, STS, both are almost same, right? IntelliJ is a little different IDE and it is a commercial IDE. Trial version 1 month they are giving free. After that we need to purchase the license for IntelliJ. So which IDE we need to use for our development? That's up to you. Either you can go with Eclipse or you can go with a Toolsuit or you can go with IntelliJ. So it's up to you. In the company also, nobody will force you to use only particular IDE. It is your choice which one you want. You can use that IDE to write the programs. All right. So if you write the programs by using IDE, directly it will tell you, is there any compilation error? Directly it will tell, is there any compilation error? And to execute the program also, inbuilt console available in the IDE. You no need to go for command prompt, compile, run manually, not required. IDE will take care of that stuff. Nobody will develop a project without IDE in the company. In every company, every developer will work with IDEs only. For front-end development, people will prefer VS Code IDE. For back-end development, Eclipse, Toolsuit or IntelliJ IDEs are available. Good. Perfect. So next, the most important chapter, that is OOPS. Right. Next 10 days, we are going to work on this OOPS concepts only. Today I can see more strength because of OOPS. Huh? Today full attendance, I think so. हाँ? मुझे फुल अटेंडेंस दिखा रहा है आज क्लास पे. ऑफलाइन में, ऑनलाइन तो नहीं दिख रहा. Right. Good. Let's get started with the most important chapter. For a few people, the most confusing chapter. For a few people, the most difficult chapter. So that is OOPS. Without understanding OOPS, you cannot develop a project. Without understanding the OOPS, you cannot develop a project. OOPS are very important. So Java is an object-oriented programming language. Java is called as object-oriented programming language because Java supports OOPS. Java supports OOPS. Oops, not only in the Java, in every programming language, oops are available. If you go for .NET, oops will be available. If you go for Python, oops will be available. If you go for PHP also, oops will be available. Oops is not specific to only Java. Java is supporting for oops. Python supporting for oops, right? Java is object-oriented programming language because Java supporting for OOPS concepts. Java supporting for OOPS concepts. In every project, we will use OOPS concepts to write our code. As part of our development, we are going to work with OOPS concepts. What are those OOPS concepts? How to work with OOPS, that we are going to learn in the next 1 week to 10 days of time. Minimum to minimum 10 दिन तो लगेगा. So we are going to spend enough amount of time to understand OOPS. Once you are able to understand the OOPS, then 50% of our Java is completed. The remaining 20% is there with the collections. Then remaining small topics, exception handling, multi-threading, IO operations, generics, annotations, small topics are available. Perfect, guys. Good. Let's get started. Here, programming languages are divided into two types. Programming, like we are working with Java. C is also one programming language. C++ also one programming language. We can divide. Programming languages are divided into two types. Divided into two types. First one is procedure-oriented programming languages. Procedural oriented programming languages. Second one, object oriented programming languages. Procedure oriented programming languages, procedure oriented programming languages, and the second one is object oriented programming languages. Now, procedural oriented programs, we will use functions and procedures. So if you want to develop one application by using procedural oriented programming language like C, COBOL, Pascal, those are called as procedural oriented programming languages. C language comes under procedure oriented. C language, COBOL, Pascal, etc. Legacy, old programming languages. C language, COBOL, and Pascal. These languages are comes under procedure-oriented programming languages. Comes to object-oriented. Object-oriented, Java, C#, Python, etc. C# nothing but a .NET only. Right. These languages comes under object-oriented programming languages. Now, if we develop the application by using procedural oriented programming languages, what are the drawbacks available? Why people are going for object oriented programming languages? Are you guys getting my point? Programming languages are divided into how many types? Now they are divided into two types. First one is procedure oriented programming language. Second one is object oriented programming language. In the procedure oriented programming language, C available, COBOL available, and Pascal is also available. Now, in the object oriented programming language, Java available, C# available, Python, PHP, etc. There are so many languages are available which are called as object oriented programming languages. First of all, what is this OOPS? OOPS stands for object oriented programming system. What is that? Object oriented programming system. Now, any programming language, OOPS contains set of principles. We'll come to that. Procedural oriented programming languages and object oriented programming languages are available. So in procedure oriented programming languages, we will develop functions and procedures. To develop one application by using procedure-oriented languages, we need to develop functions and procedures. If a functionality is increasing, then number of functions also will increase. If I want to develop more functionality, that functionality I will develop as a function. Any logic that you want to write, that logic you are going to write as a function or as a procedure. So now, if we are developing, if we are adding, if we want to add more functionality, if we want to add more functionality, then we need to develop more functions. We need to develop more functions. In procedure oriented programming language, in POP, I call it as a POP, procedure oriented programming language. In POP, data is exposed. Data is exposed globally. Whatever the data that we are using in our application, that data will be exposed globally. In POP, there is no security. There is no security. Our data is most important in any application. Application means what? Data. Users data will be available, customers data will be available, our information will be available, lot of data will be available. Application means holding the data, presenting the data, taking the data, giving the data, taking the data, storing the data, modifying the data, giving the data. To manipulate that data only, to manage that data only, we are developing our applications. So if I develop any application by using POP, the data is exposed. The data is exposed. There is no security for our data. When you go for POP, there is no security for our data. If we want to add more functionalities, then we need to develop more functions. Maintaining and managing more functions. Maintaining and managing more functions is difficult task. How many functions you create? All those functions I have to monitor, I have to manage, I have to maintain. That maintenance will become very difficult if you are keep on writing new functions. If you are keep on writing the new functions, the maintenance will become more difficult. Simple example. Now there are 60 to 70 people are available in the offline. If 200 people comes, can we handle in this room? So it is going to become difficult. So if strength is increasing, maintenance will become difficult. If strength is increasing, maintenance will become difficult. Similarly, I have one application. In that application, if I want to add new functionality, is voice not audible? Audible? If I want to add more functionality, then I need to develop more functions. If I develop more functions, what is the problem? Maintenance is the problem. My data is exposing, my data is available for everybody, my data is exposing, there is no security. There is no security. Maintenance wise, it is difficult. Security wise, not recommended. Everything I need to represent in the form of functions and procedures. 10 years back, 15 years, not 10 years, 15, 20 years back, people used to develop the projects by using POP languages, nothing but procedural oriented programming languages. C language, COBOL, Pascal, Fortran, like that there are so many languages available which are called as procedural oriented programming languages. In this generation, at this moment, is it recommended to develop a project using POP languages? Is it recommended to develop a project using POP language? Not recommended. Why it is not recommended? Why it is not recommended? I need to develop everything as a function. If I am adding new functionality, new functions will come. Managing the functions is very difficult. And the data is the most important in the application, that the data is exposing. The data is exposing. So security will not be available for my data. So that is the reason people started following object-oriented programming languages. Now, if we want to develop a project, if we want to develop a project using OOP language, then we have to use classes and objects. When you go for POP language, POP, procedure oriented programming language, then functions will be available, procedures will be available. When you go for OOP languages, object oriented programming languages, then classes will be available and objects will be available. So here OOP language, any language which follows OOPS principles, any language which follows OOPS principles is called as OOP language. OOP is not specific to Java, not specific to .NET, not specific to Python. OOPS nothing but set of principles, set of rules. Any programming language can follow OOPS rules. If the programming language is following OOPS principles, then that programming language is called as object-oriented programming language. Then that language is called as object-oriented programming language. When I can say one programming language is a OOP language, if that language is following the OOPS principles, then I can say that as a object-oriented programming language. Are you guys getting my point? How many types of languages are available? There are two types of languages available. One is object-oriented programming language. Second one, procedural-oriented programming language. In procedural-oriented programming language, functions will be available, procedures will be available. In object-oriented programming language, classes will be available, objects will be available. In object-oriented programming language, data is very secured. We can achieve security for our data in the object-oriented programming language. OOP provides OOPS principles. Object-oriented languages supports security for our data. Whereas in the POP language, that security is not available. In the OOP language, security is available. The main advantage of the OOPS is code reusability. What is the main advantage? The main advantage of OOP language or OOPS is code reusability. What is the meaning of code reusability? Existing code can be reused in the different place. So I have a web application. The code which is available in the first web page, I can reuse that code in the second web page also. We can achieve code reusability when we go for OOPS concept. The main reason, the main advantage of going for the OOPS is first one is security, second one is code reusability. Whatever, now there are 10 developers available in the project. The code which is developed by one developer can be reused by another developer in the same project. Are you guys getting my point? Now let us take a simple example. So now this developer is working on login functionality. Login screen development is doing. This developer is working on for registration functionality. You have seen the sign up, sign in will be available. Yes. One developer is working on login functionality. Another developer working on registration functionality. The person who developing registration functionality, he developed some logic for password encryption and decryption. Password security purpose, password encryption and password decryption logic implemented. Logic implemented. When we sign up, our password will not be stored in the database as it is. If I store the password as it is, developers can see your password. If I am working for SBI project, can I see your SBI net banking password in the database? I cannot. Company will not support for that. Whatever the customer data is available, customer data will be encrypted. That means your data will be converted into unreadable format. Developer also cannot see our data. The developer who developed our application will store the data into database. That developer also who can have the access for the database cannot read your data. Why? Because your data will be secured by using encryption. To encrypt the password, first developer, second developer, this is developer 2 and this is developer 1. Developer 2 working on registration functionality, developer 1 working on login functionality. As part of the registration functionality, developer 2 implemented password encryption and decryption logic, 10 lines of code he has implemented. Same code, same encryption, decryption required for this first developer also. Now, do you need to write the same code again or can I reuse that code? I can reuse that code. That means one developer code can be reused by another developer. Password encryption, decryption required for the registration page. At the same time, that is also required. Here we can reuse. We can reuse password encryption and decryption. We can reuse password encryption and decryption. Actually, that is developed by developer 2. Developer 1 also wants the same code. So we no need to rewrite the same logic which is already available. We can reuse the logic. That is called reusability. Using the code which is developed by another developer. You are my team member. You developed some code. That code, if I need, I can reuse it. I no need to redevelop again. That is one of the main advantage in the object-oriented programming languages. If you go for OOPS concept, code reusability will be available. Here we are not going to use functions. In the OOP, we are going to use classes and objects. Security also will be available. So OOP is specific to only Java. OOP is specific to only Java? No. OOPs are nothing but set of principles. Any language which is following those principles, is called as a OOP language. So today and tomorrow also, most of the concepts are theory. People are sleeping. ये बंदा सो गया, वो बंदा भी सो गया. First row 2 people are sleeping. In the first row 2 people are sleeping. By seeing them, I am also getting sleep. सो गया, देखा था. मैं झूठ बोलते हैं क्या? हाँ, मैं भी नहीं बोलता हूँ. ये सो गया था. All right. What is AOP? Yeah, someone is asking what is AOP. AOP is a Android application. AOP nothing but aspect oriented programming that comes in the Spring. In the Spring framework, I will explain what is aspect oriented programming language. Okay. Currently, we will not discuss about AOP because we are learning core Java. Okay. Once we enter into Spring framework now, then I will only teach you what is AOP what is the aspect oriented programming. That is not required now. Okay, right. Can you tell me what are the advantages of going for OOPS? First thing is our logic will be implemented by using classes and objects. Second advantage, code is reusable. Third advantage, security. Our data will be secured. We can achieve the security. Okay. With this we understood what is POP and what is OOP. POP nothing but procedure oriented programming language. Everything will be represented as a function or procedure. If a functionality is increasing, functions will increase, that it will become more difficult to manage the functions, and the data will be not secure. We cannot secure our data in the OOP languages. So to overcome the problems of the POP, OOP came into picture. Object oriented programming language. OOP nothing but set of principles. OOP nothing but set of principle. Any language which follows OOP's principles is called as OOP language. Java is object-oriented programming language. Why Java is called as object-oriented programming language? Java supporting OOP's principles. Java supporting OOP's principles. That's why Java is called as object-oriented programming language. Python also supporting OOPS principles. Then Python is also called as object-oriented programming language. There is another language called, currently it is not there in the market, Smalltalk. There was a programming language called Smalltalk. That was the first programming language which supported OOPS, or Java came into market later point of time. Before Java also there are some languages available which supports OOPS concept. Java is also supporting for OOPS. That's why Java is called as taking the class in my home. I'm not getting this issue, but here I'm getting this issue. Yeah. Is it clear now, guys? Is my voice clear now? Is it clear? Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Not yet. Yeah, I think it is fine now. Is it fine now? Yes, fine, good. So we are trying to understand advantages of the OOPS. Everything will be represented in the form of classes and objects. So OOPS is not only specific to Java, any programming language which supports OOPS principles, then it is called as object-oriented programming language. The main advantage of the OOPS, it will support for security, to secure our data. It will provide the security for our data because data is the most important part in the application, right? Another main advantage of the OOPS is code reusability. Another main advantage of that is code reusability. Now let's go for OOPS principles. What are the OOPS principles available? What are the OOPS principles available? First one is encapsulation. First one is encapsulation. Second one is inheritance. Encapsulation, abstraction. Encapsulation, abstraction, and third one is polymorphism. Polymorphism, and fourth one is inheritance. If you understand these four principles, if you understand these four principles, then we can say that we also know what is OOPS and how to work with the OOPS. Can you tell me what are the OOPS principles available? Encapsulation is available, abstraction is available, polymorphism, and inheritance. These four are called as OOPS principles. Any language which supports these four principles, that language is called as OOP language. Our Java supporting for these principles, that's why Java is called as object-oriented programming language. Sir, what are these four principles? What is the purpose of that? Let's try to understand. What is the first principle? Encapsulation. Encapsulation is used to combine our variables and methods as single entity or single unit. Encapsulation is used to combine our variables and methods as single entity. Encapsulation provides data hiding. We can hide the data by using encapsulation. We are going to write variables. What is the purpose of variables? Variables are used to store the data. What is the purpose of methods? Methods are used to perform the operation. Data will be available in the variables. Methods will perform the operation. Those variables and methods we can combine, we can package as one unit, that is called our class. Our class is the entity which contains variables and methods. So here we can achieve encapsulation for our programs by using classes. So why we are writing a class, that means we are following encapsulation. We are taking the variables and we are taking the methods. Those variables and methods we are combining as a single entity, right? What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is used to combine our variables and methods as a single unit or entity. Encapsulation provides data hiding. We can achieve encapsulation. Using classes. We can write a class name as a demo. Inside the class, we can write our variables and we can write our methods. Now you see, class is available. Inside the class, I'm taking variables and I'm taking methods. Variables and methods are combined. Variables and methods are combined. So combined thing is called as one entity. So this is called encapsulation. Are we following encapsulation already? Yes, we are writing the classes now. Everything will be represented in the form of class and object. In the OOP, everything is a class and object. Class nothing but one entity where we are going to write our variables and methods. The process of combining variables and methods is called as encapsulation. How we are achieving encapsulation? Encapsulation we are achieving by using classes. We are achieving by using classes. So what is encapsulation? We understood what is encapsulation. Yes or no? Yeah. Can anyone tell me what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is used to combine our variables and methods as single entity or unit. Encapsulation provides data hiding. We can achieve encapsulation using classes. So we are going to write like this. Class, class name. Inside, this is the class starting point. This is the class ending point. So this is one entity. Inside this entity, we can write the variables and we can write the methods also. We can write the variables and we can write the methods. Right. Next one. Next one is abstraction. 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 What is the meaning of abstraction? Abstraction means hiding unnecessary data, hiding unnecessary data and providing only required data. So now here my laptop is available. My laptop is available. So now I am using my laptop. I am able to develop the program. I'm able to write on the notepad. I'm using paint also. I am using so many processes in my laptop. But do I know what is happening internally? How the RAM is working, how hard disk is working, how motherboard is working, how my keyboard is working in the background? Do I need that data? Do I need that data or I don't need that data? I don't need that data. What I need one keyboard, I need one screen. That's it. If I have a keyboard, I can type it. If I have a screen, I can see what I am typing. So here, this laptop manufacturer following abstraction. Whatever the laptop I am using, whatever the laptops you are using, it is already a abstraction. They have developed so many things in the project. Laptop nothing but it is a software, it is a project, it is a program. But are they providing you everything? Or they are providing only keyboard screen for visibility purpose? That means whatever the required information is available, we will provide only required information and we will hide unnecessary details from the user. That is called abstraction. What is the meaning of abstraction? Hiding unnecessary data and providing only required data, that is called as abstraction. We can achieve abstraction by using interfaces and abstract classes. In the Java, we have classes. We are writing the class. In future, we are going to work with interfaces and abstract classes, which are used to provide abstraction. Classes are providing encapsulation. Interfaces will provide abstraction. Abstraction means hiding unnecessary data and provide the data only Guys, today there is a problem with my mind. Online people are struggling today. हाँ, क्या भाई क्या करना? Wait a minute. Guys, is it clear now? Now it's fine, huh? Okay. Sometimes it is fine, sometimes it is going. Yeah. Tell me, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation means combining the variables and the methods as a unit. How can we achieve that encapsulation? By using classes. Next one, abstraction. What is the meaning of abstraction? Hiding unnecessary details and providing only useful details. How to achieve that abstraction? By using interfaces and abstract classes. Okay, now example, car. Can I take a car as one example? When I rotate my key, engine is starting. But do you know how that engine is starting? How the fuel is passing to the engine internally? Do we know that? Do I need that? I want to purchase one car. If I go to car showroom, will I check? Will I open the car and see how the fuel is going to the engine? How the car is starting? No. I will just check car is starting or not. That means I will check only the data which is required for me. Whatever the data which is not required for me, I don't need that. Similarly, as a programmer, whenever we are developing the project, whenever you are writing the code, whatever the data it is not required to display, we will hide that data. Whatever the data is required, that only we will display. How car is starting, we don't bother about that. How the bike is starting, I don't bother about that. Now recently, when the offline batch started, I have taken this amplifier, I have taken the speaker. Do I know how the amplifier working internally? Do I need to check that? I will switch on, I will check. Yes, one or two, working. Chalo, start the class. That means whatever is required, sound is coming or not. Only that is important for me. I paid 30,000 for this. After paying 30,000, am I opening the box? Am I seeing what color of wire is available? How the wires are connected? Do I need that? No. That means whatever the information which is required for me, I will check only that. The remaining details are not required for me. I'm not an electrician. I'm not an electrician. Similarly, when we are developing the programs also, we need to follow encapsulation and abstraction. We need to combine our variables and our methods inside one class. And we need to expose the data which is really required for the user. We no need to expose everything. We no need to expose everything. So as part of our programming, we need to follow encapsulation as well as we need to follow abstraction. How to achieve encapsulation? By using classes, we can achieve encapsulation. How to achieve abstraction? By using interfaces and abstract classes, we can achieve the abstraction. Example, we will not bother about how laptop is working, how laptop working internally, how laptop working internally. We will not bother about how car engine starting internally. We will just check laptop is working or not, car engine is starting or not, how they are working internally, how the fuel is going, how the power is going, how many wires are there, which wire is connected to which wire, which color wire is available, what is the weight of the motherboard. I don't need all that stuff. My laptop काम कर रहा नहीं कर रहा, that's it. If it is working, I will use it. If not working, throw it out, purchase another laptop. If a car is working, drive that. If not working, sell it out and purchase another car. So here we need to check what is really required for you, what is not required for you. We need to hide that. We need to hide that. As part of the programming also, we need to bother about security and we need to bother about abstraction. Security we can achieve by using encapsulation. Abstraction interfaces and abstract classes are available. Are you clear with my point? And the next one, polymorphism. What is the next one? Polymorphism. Polymorphism nothing but polymorphism. Come on, any idea? I am the example for polymorphism. I'm example for polymorphism. Now, when I come to the class, I will act like a teacher. I will behave like a, not acting, it is, I am behaving like a teacher. Okay. When I come inside the class, I will behave like a teacher. So here, what is my behavior? Teacher. I am teaching Java. Okay. I am a teacher. If I go to my office, I will behave like a employee. Are you guys getting my point? Now, if I go to my office, take the laptop, hey, come here, I will tell you what is Java. Will I do that? No. If I go to my office, I will act like a employee. I will get the requirement from the client. I will develop the project. I will test the project. I will deploy the project. I will meet with my team. I will discuss project issues. I will assign the task to my team members. I will check what they are doing. What is the work status? I will check my email. I will check my email. I will check my manager. I will check with my manager. Is there any new requirement coming? So if I go to office, I will behave like a employee. Right. If I come to institute, I will behave like a teacher. If I go to my home, family member. If I go to my home, I will behave like a family member. Right. So I am only one person. My name is Ashok. I am only one. When Ashok comes to the class, he behaves like a teacher. When he go to office, he will behave like a employee. When I go for house, I will behave like a family member. Same person behaving in three ways depends on situation. Are you guys getting my point? I am one person physically and existing. You guys can see me, you guys can touch me. I am one object. Anything which is physically available, that is called as one object. Now, I am a person. I am a person. I am one object. I am a human. I am one object. I have multiple behaviors depends on the situation. I will exhibit, I will express multiple behaviors based on the situation. That is called polymorphism. That is called polymorphism. Tomorrow, we are going to write our classes in the program, in the project. We are going to write the classes. We are going to write the objects. Our object will exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. Here I am one object. When I come to class, I am behaving like a teacher. When I go to my office, I will behave like an employee. When I go to my home, I will behave like a family member. That means one object exhibiting multiple behaviors depends upon the situation. So similarly, when we are working in our project also, classes will be available, objects will be available. Those objects will exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. Now, simple example, when I take 10 plus 20, what this plus is doing? It is adding 30. Okay. When I say hi plus hello, when I say hi plus hello, is it doing the sum now? What it is doing now? It is concatenating. Can I say in the Java, plus is a polymorphic behavior? Plus is having polymorphic behavior. When I use the plus, For 10 plus 20, it is doing sum. It is performing the sum operation. It is adding the numbers. But when I use the same plus for strings, it is doing concatenation. Behavior is changed or not changed? It's changed. When I use the plus for the number, it is performing the sum. When I use the plus for the strings, it is concatenating. Plus is the same, but depends on the data type, it is performing the operation. Can I say plus is having multiple behaviors? Yes or no? Plus is having multiple behaviors. That is also one of the example for polymorphism. What is the meaning of polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors. Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on situation is called as polymorphism. Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on situation is called as a polymorphism. Simple example, what I am giving. Example 1. In below scenario, plus symbol having two different behaviors. In the below scenario, plus symbol having two different behaviors. What are those? Here it is adding. Here plus is adding. Now here plus is concatenating. Here plus is concatenating. Concatenating. Okay. Adding plus concatenation. This is example 1. When I go for example 2, I will take myself. When I come to class, I will behave like a teacher. When I come to class, I will behave like a teacher. Teacher or a trainer? Teacher or a trainer? Trainer. Teacher मतलब LKG बच्चों के लिए पढ़ाते हैं ना? Who is the teacher? Who is teacher, man? Teacher means who teach one subject for the kids. Are you kid? Right? No. So I am not a teacher here. I will call myself as a trainer. Okay. When I come to class, I will behave like a trainer. When I go to office, I will behave like a employee. Okay. When I go to home, I will behave like a family member. So polymorphism nothing but many forms, many behaviors based on the situation. Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as polymorphism. Now going forward, our objects will behave different ways, depends upon the situation. Whenever we go for our coding part, our development, our methods will be available, our objects will be available. Our object will exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. Our object will change its behavior depends on the situation. There is a concept called method overloading, method overriding. Still we did not understand what is method. The next concept it will come. Methods will come. The method overloading will be available. Method overriding will be available. At that time we will understand what is polymorphism. Now don't try to understand complete oops now. We are in the just trailer. We are understanding the title. What are the oops principles? इसका purpose क्या है? What is the purpose of that principle? Encapsulation means combining. Abstraction means hide unnecessary data, provide only useful data. Polymorphism means exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. That's it. Our program, our object, our method will exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. Are you clear? Yes. Next one, inheritance. The next one is inheritance. Inheritance means using one class of properties in the another class. That is called reusability. Reusability. Simple. You have parents. Your parents having money. Your father is doing a job or your mother is doing a job. They are earning some money. Are you using their money? Yes or no? That means you are using your parents' properties. Your parents are having some properties. You are using your parents' properties. That is called reusability. That is called reusability. You have to simply to understand the oops, compare the oops with your human life. Compare the oops with the human life, then it is easy to understand and you will remember for long time. Array, abstraction. That means unnecessary details I will not show. Only useful details I will show you. Am I showing my six pack here? Is it required? Is it really required? No. You just need to see my face, that's it. Because you just need to listen to the class. So I am doing abstraction. I'm doing abstraction. I'm just showing my face. I'm talking. You are listening. You need just a subject. That's it. Right. So I am doing abstraction. And I am having polymorphism also. I am behaving like a trainer here. If I get out from this institute, I will act like a normal human being. I will act like a normal human being. If I meet my friends, पूरा behavior change हो जाता ना. My behavior will be changed completely when I meet my friends. When I meet my office friends, when I meet my school friends, college friends, दारू पीते, चुट्टा मारते, कुछ करते ना भाई. Yes or no? If you go to your friends, you will enjoy with your friends. You will enjoy with your friends. When I go to my office, I will behave like a professional. When I go to my office, I will behave like a professional. When I meet my friends, that professionalism will not be available. When I meet my college friends or school friends now, professionalism will not be available because we are friends from long back. They know my positives and negatives. Yes or no? Yes. When that person know my positives and negatives, will I show my professionalism? भाई बंद करो, मुझे पता है. भाई बंद करो, मुझे पता है. You no need to show that professionalism in front of our friends because बचपन से दोस्त, उसको सब पता है. Right. But when I go to my office, my colleagues will know me as a Java developer. That's it. My colleagues don't know anything about me. My colleagues know my name, my skill set. That's it. When I go meet my colleagues, I will show professionalism because they don't know anything about me. When I go to my home, normal. Because my family members will be there, mother, father, wife, and all will be there. I will act like a normal human being there. So that means based on the situation, my behavior is changing. Polymorphism. Polymorphism. Are you guys getting my point? Right. Encapsulation. Encapsulation means hiding all the details. Hiding all the details. Combining my behavior. Combining the data and actions. That means whatever I am telling you, I have to do that. As a human being, what I will tell you, I will do that. Simple example, I will tell you tomorrow morning we have a class. When I say that there is a class tomorrow, I have to take it. So my data, whatever I am telling you, according to that I have to work. My data and my methods. Data, operation. When I tell something, when I give some data, there will be some operation on that. You just need to compare oops with your human life. Then it will become easy. Oops are not difficult. Our people made it difficult. Actual oops are not difficult. They are easy. But some trainers are making it difficult because they don't know how to teach the oops. Are you guys getting my point? Now, can you remember what is encapsulation? What is encapsulation? Combining the data. What is abstraction? Hiding the unnecessary data, provide the data which is useful. What is the polymorphism? Exhibiting acting according to situation, behaving according to situation is called as polymorphism. What is inheritance? Reuse, reuse. Khatam, oops, khatam ho gaya. Completed or not? Huh? Oops, completed. Are you able to tell me what is oops principle now? Theoretically, yeah, within 20 minutes you are able to teach me what is oops. Now if we work on the 10 days for that, you will become master on the oops. It is not difficult. The thing is, the trainer should teach in the right direction. Trainer should simplify the subject, then only students will understand it. ठीक है, अगर trainer complicate करे तो people will not get that concept. So trainer responsibility, when people will love the trainer, like the trainer, when trainer is simplifying the subject. When the trainer is simplifying the subject, then people will understand that easily. People will like that trainer. Are you guys getting my point? So why Ashok IT became this much popular within 2 years? Because our trainers are simplifying the subject. So what people want, we are giving only that. What people needs, we are giving only that in the simple manner. In the simple manner, right? So when we are teaching, we are playing some jokes. Why? People should not feel it bore. People should not feel that concept as boring concept. So in middle, I will play some jokes. It is the technique of teaching. Understand my point? So it is the technique of teaching. When I play some joke, simple, I know that. For every 40 minutes, our mind will be diverted. As a human being, we can't concentrate on the same thing continuously for 1 hour. After 40 minutes, we will get sleep or our brain will feel stress. Then your mind will be diverted. Your body will present, your mind will be absent. If you sit in the class for 3 hours also, after 40 minutes, whatever I am teaching will not go to your brain. If I am teaching continuously, that's why what I will do, for every 20 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, I will not talk about subject. I will talk about non-subject topic. Then your brains will become active. Hurry, sir is teaching something. Then you will come back to this area. Your mind will come to this area. Just 2 minutes, I will divert your mind. Then your brain will become active. Again, I will start subject. Now you will listen for next 40 minutes. This is the technique that we are going to follow. Are you guys getting my point? Right. Yes. Now, inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Extending the properties from. Teaching is also a art. Yes. Right. Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. That means whatever the properties, whatever the methods which are available in one class, we can reuse that in the another class also. How to achieve that reusability? By using inheritance. By using inheritance. Here, I told you, one developer implemented the logic for password encryption and decryption. How another developer can use that logic? Inheritance. Are you guys getting my point? Reusing the properties of one class in the another class is called as inheritance. Is called as inheritance. All right. Inheritance. Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. What is the simple example for this? We are inheriting the properties from our parents. Suppose your father having some land. By default, you will get that land, right? Your father is having some house. You will get that house. So whatever the properties are there for your parents, those properties will come to childs. So parent and child. So when you go for inheritance, parent and child relation will be available. From one class, we can extend the properties to another class. One class can extend the properties from another class, that is called as inheritance. We are inheriting the properties. Child will inherit. Child will inherit properties from parent. Are you guys getting my point? Child will inherit the properties from parent. So that is called as inheritance. Reusability. The main agenda of the inheritance is code reusability. Okay. The main aim of inheritance is code reusability. The main aim of the inheritance is code reusability. Java supports inheritance. Java supports polymorphism. Java supports abstraction. Java supports encapsulation. That's why Java is called as object-oriented programming language. Not only Java, .NET also will support, Python also will support, PHP also will support. There are so many languages available in the market which supports these principles. The languages which are supporting for these principles are called as object-oriented programming languages. Languages are divided into two types: procedure-oriented language, object-oriented language. C is a pop language, Java is a OOP language. In the C language, everything is a function. In the Java, everything is a class and object. In the C language, data security will not be available. In the Java, security will be available. C language will not support OOPS principles. Java supports OOPS principles. Any language which is supporting OOPS principle is called as OOP language. What are the OOPS principles available? 4 principles available. First one, encapsulation. Second one, abstraction. Third one, polymorphism. Fourth one, inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Inheriting the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. What is the main aim of the inheritance? Reusability. One class properties we can reuse in the another class. Best example, parent properties childs will get. Parent properties will be available for childs also. Parent class properties will be available for child class. That is called inheritance. What is polymorphism? Performing multiple ways, exhibiting multiple behaviors is called as polymorphism. Best example, human being. When human meet their friends, he will do one behavior. When he meet the colleagues, he will do one behavior. When you go to home, he will do one behavior. So one human is having multiple behavior. Based on the situation, he will exhibit that behavior. Are you guys getting my point? Then what is abstraction? Hiding the unnecessary data and providing only useful data. Hiding unnecessary data and providing only useful data. That is called abstraction. How to achieve abstraction? Interfaces and abstract classes are available. Interfaces and abstract classes available to achieve abstraction. Then encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Combining the variables and the methods is called as encapsulation. What is the main aim of the encapsulation? Security. The main aim of the encapsulation is security. We can achieve the encapsulation by using classes. Every class we are writing is an encapsulated class. Every class we are writing is an encapsulated class. Encapsulation for security, abstraction for hiding, polymorphism, many behaviors, inheritance, reusability. These 4 are the pillars of the OOPS. 4 principles. Any language supports these 4 principles, that is called as a OOP language. Pop languages available, OOP languages available. Now we are learning OOP language. That means we need to represent everything in the form of classes and objects. Are you guys clear? Is it difficult? No, easy. Every point is easy. Read it. I don't know why people are struggling for OOPS in the market. It is easy. It is easy. Yeah. Read it, guys. Read the points now. Online people, is it easy? Is it easy or difficult? Please repeat, huh? Okay, I will do it. Yep. Guys, please read it. We are in the OOPS concepts now. We entered into OOPS, the most important topic in the any programming, not only in Java, man. If you go for Python also, what is the important concept? OOPS. If you go for .NET, OOPS only. If you go for any programming language, the most important concept is the OOPS concept. Okay. Programming languages are divided into two types. One is procedure oriented. Second one is object oriented. Example for procedure oriented: C, COBOL, Pascal, etc. Object oriented means Java, C Sharp, Python, etc. Can you read it? In procedure oriented programming languages, in the procedure programming language, we will develop functions and procedures. If we want to add more functionalities, then we need to develop more functions. Maintaining and managing more functions is difficult. Difficult. Reusing the functions is also not possible there. In POP, data is exposed globally. So in POP, there is no security. Right. If we want to develop a project using OOP language, then we have to use classes and objects. Any language which follows OOPS is called as OOP language. Object-oriented language supports security for our data. Object-oriented language provides security for our data. The main advantage of OOPS is code reusability. What are the OOPS principles available? 4 principles available: encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. Encapsulation. What is the meaning of encapsulation? Encapsulation is used to combine our variables and methods as single entity or unit. Encapsulation provides data hiding. We can achieve encapsulation using class. In Java, every class is a encapsulated class only. Data we are hiding in the class. Abstraction means hiding unnecessary data and providing only required data. We can achieve abstraction using interfaces and abstract classes. We will not bother about how the laptop working internally, how car is working internally. We just need that is working or not. That's it. Polymorphism. What is the meaning of polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as polymorphism. Now, in the scenario, if you see 10 plus 20, we are getting 30. Here, based on the data type, this is symbol changing the behavior. If these are numbers, it is performing the sum. If these are strings, it is performing the concatenation. Okay. So here, plus operator having polymorphism. It is exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation. Example 2, human being. When I come to class, I have one behavior. When I go to office, I have one behavior. When I go to home, I have one behavior. I am only one, but I am having multiple behaviors based on the situation. That is called as polymorphism. Next one, inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. Child will inherit the properties from parent. Child will inherit the properties from parent. Guys, here in general, in the human life, forget about Java. Forget about Java. Your father is having 2 kids, right? You and your brother or your sister, whatever it is. Your father having 2 children. Now, your father is having 1 crore property. Then what will happen? first fighting will happen between you and your brother. Yes or no? That no, that property will be divided, right? If your father is having, your parents are having 1 crore property, then 2 childs will get the properties. That means 2 childs are inheriting the properties from the parent. 2 childs are inheriting the properties from the parent. That is in our general life, in the human life. In our human life, our parents' properties will be inherited by the childs. But in the Java, one child can inherit only from one parent. In general, that is, there is slight difference is there for human life and inheritance. Basically, parent properties will be inherited by the child. But in the Java, directly one child cannot inherit from 2 parents. One child cannot inherit from 2 parents. That is illegal in the Java. Java does not support for that. Java will support inheritance, but one child should extend from only one parent. That concept is called as multiple inheritance. That concept is called as multiple inheritance. Java will not support multiple inheritance. That's why some people will call Java as a partially object-oriented programming language. Are you guys getting my point? Java is a fully object-oriented programming language. Java is a partially object-oriented programming language. Java is a partially object-oriented programming language. Why Java is called as partial object-oriented programming language? Java not supporting for multiple inheritance. What is the meaning of a multiple inheritance? One child cannot inherit the properties from 2 times. That is not possible. That concept is called as multiple inheritance. Sir, why it is not possible? Why Java not supporting for that? That we will discuss in the inheritance topic. We just gave the introduction for inheritance. We have to work with the inheritance. Practically, programmatically, we have to understand why Java is not supporting for multiple inheritance. Practically, we will understand that. Clear? Yes. Just revise the concept what we discussed. Oops is very important. I gave time for revise, not for talking to your friends. Just revise what we have learned so far. Because of ambiguity. You are right, Iqbal. So to avoid the ambiguity problem, Java does not support for multiple inheritance. In Java, one child cannot inherit properties from 2 parents. They also don't. Yeah. In Java, one child cannot inherit properties from 2 parents at a time. Java does not support multiple inheritance. That we will talk about later. Small talk. No, they don't support. They are only for desktop applications. Real life example of encapsulation. What I can give real example for encapsulation? Combine our variables and methods as single entity. Encapsulation provides data hiding. Human body we can say as encapsulated, right? Yeah. Medicine, tablets, capsules, anything which is combining. Tablet, we can call as an example for encapsulation. We can achieve encapsulation using classes. Tablet, yes, in that some drugs will be encapsulated and a tablet will be prepared. That is a encapsulation example. Yeah, tablet we can consider as a encapsulation. Multivitamin tablets. Okay. Yeah. Mahesh Reddy. Yes, multiple inheritance does not support directly. Yep, we can achieve that by using interfaces. Yes, I agree with you. We will discuss that. Okay, fine guys. Are you clear with the basic introduction for OOPS? Yes. Now we need to start working with these OOPS concepts. Directly, I am not going to implement OOPS. First, we need to understand classes. We need to understand objects. We need variables and methods. So these topics are very important now. Classes, objects, variables and methods. Once we complete these concepts, then we can understand our actual OOPS concepts. We can develop our programs by using OOPS concepts. Okay, let's get started with a class. What is class? What is a class? Come on guys, what is a class? Class is a keyword. Okay. Yes, last row. Bhai so gaya? No, yeah. Bolo, what is class? Combination of variables and methods is called as a class. Correct. Good. Praveen, what is class? He gave same answer. I want different answer. What is class? Class is group of objects. Huh? Yeah. Class. By you. What is class? Collection of objects. Huh? Here I have written a class. Where is the object here? That is class only, na? Where is the object? Object not available, na? What is class? In simple. Anyone? What is class? Blueprint are reading the same answer. What is class? Combination of variables and methods. Okay. So let me tell you what is class. Class is a plan or model or template. Right? What is a class? Class is a plan. That means I want to develop a program to perform sum of two numbers. So that means for that I need one plan. I need one plan. I want to perform sum of two numbers. So I need two numbers as a variables. To perform the sum, I need to write some logic. Logic I will write by using methods. So to declare the variables, to declare the methods, I need one class. So class nothing but a plan or a model or it is a template. So in the Java, everything will be represented as a class. Class is a plan or model or template. Class means one imagination. What is the meaning of the class? It is one imagination. Class is a imagination. Class is a plan or model or template. Some people will call class is a blueprint of object. So many people are telling class is a blueprint of object, but they don't know what is blueprint. It is just a Google answer. What is a blueprint? It is a plan. It is a plan. Blueprint nothing but it is a plan. Class is a plan or model or template. Class is a blueprint of object. Class is used to declare variables and methods. Class is used to declare variables and methods. Class is used to declare variables and methods. Once the class is created, we can create object for the class. So once we have the class, for that class, we can create the object. Object means anything which is exist physically, that is called as a object. Creating the object means allocating the memory to store the data. Creating the object means allocating the memory to store the data. Class is used to declare variables and methods. In the project means collection of classes only. Project means collection of classes. I am developing one Java project. What is the meaning of that? I am developing Java classes. In my Java classes, variables will be available and methods will be available. I am combining my variables and methods into one class. Class is a plan. Class is a blueprint. Class is a imagination. Class is a imagination. Once a class is available, then we can create object for the class. Classes are not exist physically. Class is just one imagination. My class should contain these variables, these methods. That's it. In the JVM, everything will be represented as a object. Object nothing but physically it is existing. Okay. Now, project means collection of classes. For once a class is created, then we can create any number of objects for class. We can create any number of objects for class. Just read the points. Class is a plan or model or template. Class is a blueprint of object. Class is used to declare variables and methods. Project means collection of classes. Once a class is created, then we can create any number of objects for the class. So to create a class, we will use a keyword called class only. So in order to create a class in the Java, there is a keyword called class. Class is a keyword which is used to create one Java class. Okay, so we know the keyword. Class keyword is used to create classes in Java. Class is a keyword which is used to create the classes in the Java. So what is the syntax to create the class? Class, here I can give class name. Class name can be anything. Class and class name. Class name can be anything. Here we are going to write variables and we are going to write methods. The combination of the variables and methods is called as a class. Class is one plan. Everything will be represented as a class. Classes will not exist physically. We are just preparing a plan. That means what you want to do, for that you will prepare a plan as a class. Project means collection of classes only. How to create a class? The class will be created by using a keyword called class keyword. By using a keyword called class keyword. Once a class is created, for that class you can create any number of objects. Are you guys getting my point? Once I have a class called demo, for the demo class I will create the object. One object, two objects, three objects, four objects, five objects, 100 objects also you can create, 1000 objects also you can create for the class. Once the class is available, you can create any number of objects for the class. Are you guys getting my point? Right. So with this we are good with what is class. Class is a plan. Some people will call it as a blueprint of the project. It is used to declare the variables and method. It is classes. Once a class is created, then we can create any number of objects for a class. Any number of objects for a class. Class keyword. Class keyword is used to create classes in Java. Classes are not exist physically. Classes will not exist physically. Classes will not exist physically. They are just imagination. Imagination. Okay. Next, let's go for object. Object. Anything which exists physically is called as a object. What is object? Real world entity. Any real world entity is called as object. Objects exist physically. This table, one object. I am one object. This mouse, one object. This laptop, one object. This speaker mic, one object, because all these are existing physically. We can see with our eyes and we can touch also, right? So real world entities are called as objects. To create the objects, classes are mandatory. Without object also, class can be created. But without class, object cannot be created. Object means it is one entity. That is one real world entity. Any real world entity is called as objects. Objects exist physically. Objects exist physically. We cannot, objects will be created for the classes. Objects will be created for the classes. Without classes, we cannot create the objects. That means if a plan is available, then only we can create the object for that. If the plan, simple example, you want to construct one house. For that house construction, what is required first? Plan is required. So if you have the plan, then only you can construct the house. After house is constructed, that is one object. Okay. To create the object, plan is required. Plan is called as a class. So any real world entity is called as objects. Objects exist physically. Objects will be created for the classes. Without having the class, we cannot create object. So that means class is mandatory to create the objects. Class is mandatory to create objects. Object creation means memory allocation. So what is the meaning of creating the object? What is the meaning of object creation? Object creation means allocating memory in JVM, where objects will be created in the compile time, objects will be created in the runtime, objects will be created in the compile time, objects will be created in the runtime, objects will be created in the runtime. So object creation means allocating memory in Java. New keyword is used to create the objects. New keyword is used to create the objects. Object creation means allocating the memory. Now, how to create a object? Here you will use class name. Class name reference variable is equal to new class name. New class name. So class name space reference variable is equal to new class name. So this is the syntax for creating the object. So without class, can I create the object? Without without class, can I create the object? No. To create the classes, objects are mandatory. To create the classes, objects are mandatory. Are you guys able to follow this? Yes. New keyword is used to create the objects. Class name space reference variable is equal to new class name. Right. So whenever we create the object, memory will be allocated. For example, if you have the class name as a user, user u1 is equal to new user. User u1 is equal to new user. So user is a class, u1 is a variable. That variable is holding user object. Now, so objects will be created in the heap area. Where the objects will be created? Objects will be created in heap area. Objects will be created in the heap area. What is the heap area? Come on guys. What is the heap area? Heap area is a memory in the JVM which is used to store the objects. So which keyword is used to create the objects? New. New keyword is used to create the objects. What is the meaning of creating the object? Object creation nothing but allocating the memory. So what is the difference between class and object? What is the difference between class and object? Class is a plan. Class is a plan. Object is nothing but physical existing entity. Based on the class, you will create the object. Based on the object, you will create the class. Based on the class, we are going to create the object. Class is mandatory to create the object. Object creation is optional. Object creation is optional. If you have the class, then you can create the object. Without having the class, you cannot create the object. Class nothing but a imagination, object nothing but a physical entity. So class keyword is used to create the class, new keyword is used to create the object. Once a class is available, you can create any number of objects for the classes. Now user u1 is equal to new user. Similarly, can I do like this? User u2 is equal to new user. Yes, that means I am creating two objects for the same class. That means I'm allocating memory two times. I'm allocating memory two times. So class name variable is equal to new class name. Now this is a variable. This is a data type. Can I say like that? This is a variable. This is a data type. That means every class can be used as a data type. In the string, I have given that point in the notes also. String is a class and string is a data type. Every Java class can be used as a data type. That means string also a class. That's why we are using string as a data type. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. Okay. Let me take one simple example. Let me take one simple example. Yeah. Class user. What is this, guys? Class user. Inside this class, I'm going to write one method, public void main, public static. Public static void main string arguments. String arguments. Okay, guys. Now here inside this method, I want to create the object. How to create the object? user u1 is equal to new user. User u1 is equal to new user. Let me save this here. User dot java. What I am doing now? I am creating the object for the class. Okay. Let me go to this workspace. Yeah, from tomorrow I will use IDE, guys. Okay. Yeah. Java C user dot java. What I have done now? I have compiled my class. That class file is generated. I want to run my program. Java space user. Am I getting any output? Why? I'm not printing anything. Just I have created the class, and inside that class I have a method. In that method I have a code that is used to create the object. So now objects will be created at the compile time. Objects will be created at the runtime. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Compiler will create the object or JVM will create the object. JVM will create the object. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created in the heap area. No. So whenever I have created a object like this, user u1 is equal to new user. What is the meaning of that? I'm creating one object. Okay. So this is my heap area. This is my heap area. In this heap area, I'm creating one object. I'm creating one object. So now that means I'm allocating some memory. I'm creating a object which is used to allocate the memory. Now for this object there is a reference variable. U1 is the reference variable which is allocated to this object. U1 variable. What is U1? U1 is a variable which is holding user class object, which is holding user class object. Now here I have one more line of code. User u2 is equal to new user. User u2 is equal to new user. What is the meaning of that? Memory will be allocated. Sir, can I create two objects for the same class? Yes, you can create any number of objects for the class. U1 variable pointing to one object, U2 variable is pointing to another object. I have created two objects for the same class. That means I have allocated memory in the JVM. What I can do in this memory now? I can store the data. In this memory, we can store the data. Our variables they can be created and our variables can be stored in the objects. That means the data can be stored in the object. Object creation nothing but allocating the memory. Allocating the memory. When the object is created, JVM will assign some address for the object. For every object, unique address will be generated. For every object, unique address will be generated. No two objects address will be same. Every object will have a different address. Every object will have a different address. Sir, you are saying that JVM will create the object in the runtime. For object address also will be allocated. Can we get that address? Can we see that address? No. JVM is not memory friendly. So that means creating the object nothing but allocating the memory in a JVM will not provide you memory level details. JVM will not provide you memory level details. Now here when you create the object, my program is running. My program is running. After some time, My program execution completed. My program execution completed. I am not using this object. That will be called as unused object. That will be called as a unused object. Now, JVM is having one assistant. In the Java, JVM is available. JVM is having one assistant. That assistant name is garbage collector. What is that, guys? Garbage collector. What is the duty of the garbage collector? Cleaning. It is going to perform cleaning activities in the heap area. It is going to perform cleaning activities in the heap area. Whatever the objects are created by the JVM, once those objects are not using in the program, then garbage collector is going to delete these unused objects from the JVM. Why? Memory, we have simple example. In my movie, I am having, in my laptop, I am having a movie. You have taken a pen drive, you copied the movie. Your pen drive is 4 GB space. Your pen drive is a 4 GB space. My movie is 3 GB, high quality HD. 3 GB movie is there. Let's take Bahubali movie is there. You copied the movie into your pen drive, then you pasted into your laptop and you watched that movie also completed. Then is there any use of keeping that movie in the pen drive? No, you already watched it. Now you are not going to watch once again. You are not going to watch it once again. You already watched it. If you keep the movie as it is, what is the problem? Memory is wasting. You cannot copy another movie. Memory will be wasted. You cannot copy the another movie. Now, if you want to take the new movie, delete the old movie, then space will be available. Then you can copy the new movie. Similarly, in the JVM heap also, some limit will be available for the memory. If objects are keep on creating, at some point of time, memory will be completed. Na? Objects are keep on, simple example, web application. 24/7, 365 days, project will be running. So many users are going to access the web application. Can you imagine how many objects will be created? Thousands of objects, lakhs of objects will be created. If those objects are keep on creating, now simple example, man, if people are keep on coming, space will be completed or not? If people are keep on coming, this room space will be completed. If room space is full, new person cannot come. So similarly, when the objects are keep on creating, at some point of time, heap memory also will be completed. At some point of time, heap memory also will be completed. If heap memory completed, can I create the new object? If memory is available, if memory is available, then only object can be created. If the memory is not available, object cannot be created. Are you guys getting my point? Now, is there any use of keeping unused objects? Completed, now I don't need it. That is called unused objects. If you keep unused objects as it is, what is the problem? Memory will be wasted. That's why in the Java, garbage collector is available, which is used to perform cleaning activities in the heap area. That means it will identify what are the objects available. Hey, object, are you getting used? If this is saying, boss, there is a U1, I'm in the use. Somebody using me, leave me. It came here. U2, hey, U2, are you getting used? No, boss, I'm not using. Nobody is using me. Then I will kill you. Garbage collector will come like that. Garbage collector will come to the heap area. It will ask first object. Hey, first object, do you have any reference? Are you using by someone? Yes, boss, I am using by someone. Okay, I will leave you. Go to U2. Hey U2, are you using by someone? No boss, nobody using me. Then आपका Katham. I will kill you. I will kill you. I will remove you. That means the objects which are using by any variable or anyone, those objects will remain same. If objects are not using, then garbage collector will delete the object from the heap area. That is called cleaning activity. JVM is responsible for allocating the memory. Garbage collector is used to deallocate the memory. That is called inbuilt memory management in the Java. Java is a robust programming language. Why? It is taking care of the memory management. As a programmer, you no need to allocate the memory. You no need to deallocate the memory. Memory management is completely taken care by JVM. JVM will allocate the memory. JVM assistant will deallocate the memory. What is the name of JVM assistant? Garbage collector. What is the responsibility of the garbage collector? It is used to remove unused objects from the heap area. Are you guys getting my point? So who is taking care of memory management in the Java? Programmer is taking care, or JVM is taking care of that? JVM is taking care of the memory management. As JVM is taking care of the memory management, memory issues will not come in the JVM. Sometimes memory issues also may come when if your heap area is full. If your heap area is full, then out of memory problems will come. When we will get out of memory problem, sufficient memory is not available in the JVM to create the objects. If a garbage collector is not coming, then memory will be wasted. That garbage collector is JVM assistant. That garbage collector will not take our instructions. You cannot start the garbage collector. You cannot ask, hey bhai, aa jao, clean karo. ये नहीं करेगा. That garbage collector will not listen to us. Garbage collector is completely managed by JVM. You cannot control the garbage collector in the Java because it is completely dedicated to JVM. It will be completely managed by JVM only. JVM only. Simple example here. Now, in our office also, in the institute also, sweeper is available to perform the cleaning activity. To perform the cleaning activity, sweeper is available. Now, 8 o'clock class is completed. I will call her. Hey sweeper, please come now. You have to clean the room. When I call her, will she come immediately? Will she come immediately? She will tell, sir, morning already I came. I will come tomorrow. I will not come now. That depends, na? If we have urgent work, you have to come immediately because there is some urgent work. It depends upon her decision whether she comes or she will not come. That totally depends on her decision. Similarly, in the Java also, garbage collector is there. You can call it, but there is no guarantee wo aayega nahi aayega. We can't control that. So garbage collector will completely manage it by JVM. Programmer cannot manage the garbage collector. That is the point. Understand? Sir, why we can't call? There is a reason. In the garbage collection, I will tell you why Java people made garbage collector like that. There is important reason. That's why JVM only will manage the garbage collector. Programmer cannot manage the garbage collector. But definitely garbage collector is available, which is responsible to perform memory cleanup activities in the JVM. JVM will allocate the memory. Garbage collector will deallocate the memory. When this memory is deallocated, this space can be used by new object. We can reuse that memory. We can reuse that memory. So garbage collection topic is available. At that time, we will understand internals of the garbage collector also. As of now, what is garbage collector? Garbage collector is used to remove unused objects from the heap. Can we control the garbage collector? Can we ask the garbage collector, Abhi clean karo? No, that is not possible. It will be completely managed by only JVM. All right, let me write that point. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created in the heap area. If objects are not using, if object is not using, then garbage collector will remove that object from heap. So what is that garbage collector? Garbage collector is responsible for memory cleanup activities. Where it will do the cleanup activity? Where it will do that? Garbage collector is responsible for memory cleanup activities in JVM heap area. Only it will work in the heap area. Cool. Yeah. Read this. What is object? Any real world entity is called as objects. Objects exist physically. Objects will be created for the classes. Object will be created based on the class. Objects will be created based on the classes. Without having the class, we cannot create object. Class is mandatory to create objects. Object creation means allocating memory in JVM. New keyword is used to create the objects. So what is the syntax to create the object? Class name reference variable is equal to new class name. User U1 is equal to new user. That means one object created. User U2 is equal to new user. What is the meaning of that? Second object also created. How many times memory allocated? Memory allocated 2 times. Objects will be created by whom? Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created in the heap area. If object is not using, then garbage collector will remove that object from heap. Garbage collector is responsible for memory cleanup activities in JVM heap area. So garbage collector will remove unused objects. What objects garbage collector will remove, guys? Used objects or unused objects? Only unused objects. Garbage collector will remove unused objects from heap. Unused objects from heap area. So now you got the clarity. What is class and what is object? Yeah. Tell me, guys, what is class and what is object? Class is a plan which contains class variables and methods. Right? Yeah. Go ahead. What is class and what is object? Class is a plan or model. Class is a blueprint of object. Class is used to declare variables and methods. Project means collection of classes. Right? Once a class is created, then we can create any number of objects for a class. Class keyword is used to create classes in Java. Can I create 10 classes also? 100 classes also you can create. Classes will not exist physically. What is object? Any real world entity is called as object. Objects exist physically. Objects will be created based on the classes. Without having the class, we cannot create the object. Class is mandatory to create the object. Object creation means allocating the memory in the JVM. Which keyword is used to create the object? New keyword is used to create the object. Class name variable is equal to new class name. You can create any number of objects for one class. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created in the heap area. If object is not using, then garbage collector will remove the object from the heap. Garbage collector is responsible for memory cleanup activities in the heap area. Garbage collector will remove unused objects from heap. Who will manage the garbage collector? Garbage. Can I manage? I cannot. I cannot. Java is not providing. Java did not provide that facility. Java did not provide that facility for us. Garbage collector will be managed. Will be managed and controlled by JVM only. Programmers cannot manage the garbage collector. Programmers don't have control on the garbage collector. Programmer don't have control on the garbage collector. So completely memory management will be taken care by garbage collector only. Memory management will be taken care by garbage collector only. Are you guys clear with this? Yeah. Any questions, anyone? Yeah. So today we discussed mainly about 4 points. One is pop language. Second one is OOP language. What is the class? What is the object? Now tell me, what is OOP language? The language which is supporting for object-oriented principles is called as a OOP language. What is the main advantage of OOPs? Code reusability and security. Code reusability and security. OOPs is specific to only Java? No, any language support for OOPs. So the language which is supporting for the OOPs is called as object-oriented programming language. What are the OOPs principles available? Encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. What is the meaning of encapsulation? Combining the variables and methods in the class is called encapsulation. Encapsulation main purpose is data hiding. Class is the best example for the encapsulation. Real world example for encapsulation is a multivitamin tablet, or we can call it tablet capsule is the encapsulation. What is the abstraction? Hiding unnecessary data and providing only useful data is called as a abstraction. How to achieve abstraction in the Java? By using interfaces and classes. By using interface and abstract classes, we can achieve abstraction. What is a polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors is called as a polymorphism. In the Java, objects will have the polymorphic behavior. One object can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. In general, in the real world, human is an example for the polymorphic object. Next one is inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? What is the meaning of inheritance? Inheriting the properties from one class to another class is called inheritance. What is the main aim of the inheritance? Code reusability is the main aim of the inheritance. So now parent class will be available, child class will be available. One child can extend the properties from one parent. In the Java, can one child extend properties from two parents? No, multi-inheritance is not supported by Java. Then we discussed about the class, we discussed about the object. What is the meaning of object creation? Allocating the memory is called as object creation. Good, that's it. I will upload these notes. We'll meet in the tomorrow session. Don't miss a single class also for next 10 days. OOPs are very interesting if you understand. If you don't understand, very confusing. So don't miss the classes. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.